ZA, the hackathon presented by Tyto Insights, hosted at UP, and in collaboration with our ICANN, ZARC, Registry.Africa, GeoTLD Group, the UA Group, DNS Business, us, and University of Pretoria. So thank you all so much for coming to this event. So to start off first, well, why are we here? What is the reason for the ZA hackathon? Well, the thing is, the internet, as we know, was built on Latin characters. It was built on narrow assumptions. So short Latin domains with ASCII-only emails, meaning that your A to Z, characters, 1 to 9, a few exclamation marks, percentage signs, etc. But the problem is, the world has outgrown that. In our world, we have many languages, many cultures. There's Mandarin, Arabic, there is Hindi. Look at our country, 12 different languages with their own character sets. So this is where the Universal Acceptance Group comes in. And this is what they do is, their principle is that every domain and every inbox should be valid. And it should be that people from different cultures with different languages should be accepted on the internet. So, in our world, we all know .com, .co.za, but there is out there domains such as .africa, .cape town, .joburg, where a lot of your times, your email validators just won't accept it. They'll say, no, this is not valid, which restricts people from gaining access to the internet and to sign up. So why this matters is because the UA group is allowing 1 billion people to be online and to be present in our internet. So it really does come down all to 4 characters we usually find. You look at this, a regex that goes and says, okay, email addresses 2 to 4 characters for your domain name. So right here, with this case, .africa, which is valid, would be failed. .joburg, .cape town. If you have punny codes, your Arabic letters will be failed. If you have anything like a copy, a little e right there, it will be failed. So a research came out that 72% of global email infrastructure wasn't universally acceptable. Now, that's a problem, right? So what will we do? Why are we here and what are we trying to do? We're trying to help UA to see, is Africa, and specifically, is South Africa universal acceptance friendly? So the first part is what we call the hunt. And with the hunt is where we will go through and see if our country and our internet really is universally acceptable. So that'll be from 9:15 up until 12:30. Then you guys will have a lunch break from 12:30 to 1:30. And then the fix is where, after you've done your research, seen how the landscape looks, you will build your own email validator, accepting almost everything. So from your Nordic to your Arabic to your Mandarin, Swahili, Zulu, Afrikaans, you should have an email validator that accepts all. And then, so you'll have from 13:30 to 16:20, and from there, we'll give awards. There will be 3 awards available for the best report, the best validator, and the best overall. So, with the hunt, what are we looking for? What are we trying to see here? Where we're trying to find the rejections, and you need to prove them. So you need to come up with a report, can be in a Google Doc, where you give us the website URL, the screenshot of it not being valid or invalid, and then the description of what is happening there. There is points up for grabs for how this will work. So first, for a .za, co.za, web.za, net, if you find that an email validator does not accept this, you will get 50 points. If it's for .africa, Cape Town, Joburg, Durban, you get 30 points. If there's other UA-related issues, so it doesn't accept punny codes such as emojis or Arabic or whatever it might be, 15 points. And there are multipliers to this, and these multipliers do chain. So ×2, critical. You can't log in. You can't sign up. That is a critical issue. 1.5, it's a weird bug where it might say it's gone through, but you don't really receive an email OTP that they say they'll send you. That is a weird bug because they say it's accepted, but it's really not. Then 1.3, if it's in the banking, insurance, or government world. So if you have, let's just say an example, which I will pull up now, for your driver's license, they don't accept .Africa. That is a 1.3 because a government infrastructure should accept a .Africa domain. And this can change. So if it is critical, weird, and a government or banking site, you will get the points times 2 times 1.5 times 1.3. But please, we don't want farming. So please just make sure you submit a maximum of 3 bugs per domain. And we will be sampling and looking through your reports during lunch and through the fix. And please, if you are writing a tool, please have a rate limiter. If you do not have a rate limiter, we will disqualify you. We do not want to bombard these domains. Then the fix. So how will that work? Well, you guys are all familiar with Pitchfork, the testing tool. Well, we've built our own. But with this one, you are allowed 3 languages: Python, Go, or TypeScript. In this, you will expose your functions right here, so you can see is valid, is valid, is valid, or validates, validates, etc. And here you will be writing a program, submitting it, and then we have a test suite at the back that has multiple test cases from invalid to valid domains, and you need to tell us if this is a valid email, and you need to make sure that you accept all universal acceptance criteria. So you're not allowed to have it on a web server, no printing please, or no Go mains. And please do not import the libraries that do it for you. There is something that checks it, but we will also be checking code. If we do see you using one of the libraries such as IDNA, your code will be disqualified. Then allowed, you can use the general frameworks or libraries that are available. You can have zips that can help you, that can bundle your helpers. And please, if you are using Python and you have libraries, submit your requirements.txt. So there are 2 ways to test. There's a quick test where we can just you guys can just see what's going on there. It won't count towards your points. It's just a little validator for you. It will give you tips and tricks of what's going on and what might be wrong. Then you can run the full test. There will be a leaderboard up showing how teams are progressing. And the way we will specify who has the best validator is even if 2 teams come first, in terms of points, we will then check if their system is the fastest. So there's 3 ways to win, and there's 3 prizes up for grabs, each at 5,000 Rand. And those prizes are the top bug hunters, so the most validated bugs. So this is for your report. Then you're the best validator that has the highest accuracy and the best speed. And then obviously the overall winner, who has the highest combined score. One team can only win 2 awards. There's no team that can win all 3. So that concludes the hackathon. That concludes the speech and the start of the hackathon. Any questions before we begin? Yes. So sorry, let me clarify on that. Per domain for the rejections is you can't, so let's just say you go to a site that has 3 bugs. You can't, if you find a site that has an email validator that doesn't work, that has 7 or 8 bugs, you can only report 3 for that specific domain and then carry on and find another domain. So an example, let's just say if it's Discovery, if Discovery has a bug, you can only find 3 bugs on Discovery, and then you have to move to another domain such as Investic. So that's what we mean. We don't want you to sit there and just bombard the same site over and over again in your reports. Does it make sense? Okay. Yes.
Do you mind just saying what the weird multiplier was for again?
So the weird multiplier is an example if, let's just say, it says that it's a validated email and they're going to send you an OTP, but then they don't actually send you an OTP. And if you sign with another TLD like .co.za and they send you the OTP, then that's invalid because that means their validator doesn't see a .Africa as something as valid. So it's those weird instances where it looks like it will work, but it actually doesn't at the back. Yes?
Where do you submit those reports, and do we get those slides as well?
So the slides will be up the whole time, and the slides will be up the whole time. And if you have any questions, you can come to me and talk about them, and then you will submit the report to my email address. It will be up also, so you just need to submit it at the end. It's a Google Doc, and then I'll go through it.
Or a PDF.
Or a PDF if you'd like. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, cool. If that's the case and everyone's happy, begin. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to ask, makes sense, everything?
Makes sense, everything. But what I want to know is, when you said in terms of you're going to mark us in terms of reporting.
Yes.
What are you really like
So
thinking about? Because I'm sure we're all going to just like present a document with a PDF. Or
yeah. So I'm going to look at like how many do you find, and in terms of just like the screenshots, your description. So like I'll just mark it and base on that. So the points are there. But what happens if let's just say the tiebreaker that you guys found, there's two teams that found the exact same, what do you call it, amount of points. I'll then evaluate in terms of, okay, let's just see if you built a tool. Okay, what is it?
That's also what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
In terms of like, can you actually build a tool?
Yes.
Which is just going to be quick, and then we're going to throw in that link.
Yes.
And then it's going to be able to actually assimilate like a list of
Yes.
Of emails.
Yes.
That's going to be like.
It's going to be top notch, higher marks. Okay, and also like writing style, but that's like at the end. That's like if it really is, everyone's like neck. Do you understand?
But then do we have to submit the tool now?
No. You don't have to submit. You don't.
Because remember, there's a validator.
Yes, the valid and yes. So you can, yeah. Sorry guys, I actually need to show you an example. I needed to show you an example to understand what we're trying to look for. So an example here is Natus, which is this is where you can book your driver's license. I go and I have a domain, and this is a valid domain that I actually have, Tyto.Africa. Now, do you see there it says invalid email address? That is wrong. That's supposed to be valid. .Africa, and I mean right there as we can see, is a valid TLD domain. But their regex and their validators is the moment I put 6 characters or more, it says invalid. So if I put .Cape Town, invalid. .durban, .joburg, it will say invalid, and that is a problem. So we are asking that you guys find these bugs and report them so we can tell them they need to fix it. So please do your research. There are many things such as punny codes. What are punny codes? Emojis, Arabic, Mandarin. These are ways where we convert those characters into Latin characters, which then the DNS will understand. So just research a bit on that, but once you understand, you'll see how it works as a normal pattern. But those are things that should be valid also. If you have an Arabic domain, it should be allowed in this system. So please research and find these websites. Yeah. So who are you?
Okay, my name is Ayush. I'm a third year computer science student at the University of Pretoria.
And how have you found the hackathon so far?
I think it's very interesting. It's definitely very different from what we learn in computer science. It's very different because we work with the websites looking into the dev tools and finding all of these errors. It's definitely unique and different from what we learn.
And in terms of like universal acceptance, is it your first time almost hearing of this group and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to achieve?
I mean, well, we have a networks module in third year, so we actually are somewhat familiar with some of the things that do go on, especially with ICANN, all of these URLs. We did learn quite a few things about it. Especially in our pracs, we did learn about like RFC rules, for example, and to comply with them to ensure everything works accordingly.
Okay, and from your experience in terms of researching right now, do you see that South Africa is UA friendly? Considering the fact that we have multiple languages, we're a country with 11 official languages.
I actually do, because while we're looking through and trying to find all of these bugs, they do actually pass most of the tests that we're trying to see if they pass or fail, and a lot of them are actually passing relatively well.
Okay, fantastic. And if you had to give like sectors that work really well and sectors that need to improve, just give like your one word shot of them.
For improvement,
yes,
I'd say definitely support for other nations. I'd say locally it is very supportive, but internationally it does lack a bit, and we do have a lot more foreign nations coming into the country, so definitely need to accommodate for that.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And if you had to give any feedback so far, what would you give for the hack?
For feedback, I'd say it's actually a very good competition. More people should definitely apply for when it comes again. It's definitely interesting and fun.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I actually think it's good practices because it's checking and saying, but this doesn't exist, how are you going to receive your email address? So they're actually putting more steps to make sure when you register, they don't just send it out so no one signs up.
Okay, so are you saying that we need to have valid domains for all our testing?
Well, you don't have to. Like if the website does that and they validate and check it and they make sure, it's actually good for them. But if like the thing is, these other guys, if they just let it through, whatever, it's still fine. But we're checking if the syntax behind it is correct or not if they verify that.
The syntax.
Yes.
Oh, so the syntax just needs to be valid.
Yes.
So then what if this RCF email verifier, what if like when we run that email, the website is saying the syntax of this email is invalid?
So if it's saying the syntax of this email is invalid,
Yeah.
and it accepts it, then
The website accepts
the website accepts it, that's wrong. The website's supposed to not accept it. Then you get points for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we can prove that RCF did say this thing is invalid.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Look at RCF 5232.
RCF.
So
RFC.
just search RFC 5232.
5, 2, 3.
RFC.
That's specific RFC that refers to having the plus.
RFC.
Yes, RFC.
RFC 5232.
5232.
So you guys, we're starting the second part of the hackathon, and you guys now have seen the landscape of how these email validators out there are failing. They're not working, they're not accepting .Africas, they're not accepting Mandarin characters, punny codes, whatever it might be. But now you will be building the validator that accepts all of it. So how this will work is that you have two choices of languages, because you'll be working on the lab computers for this. Yes. So you will have TypeScript, which is Node.js, and Python available to use. So Python and Node.js are available on the lab computers. Now what we'll do is the first hour of this validator and this practical will have, you're not allowed to use any AI for the first part. So you'll have to purely research. You can use Gemini AI in the Google search, that's fine. But from after 1 hour, you will then have AI access again to use GPT, Claude, whatever it might be. So what are we looking for? What will we be testing? Well, so we'll be testing, does your validator work for .Africa, .Cape Town, .Durban, .co.za, .net.za, all those cases. There will be security checks. I've put in invisible punny codes as an example. Can you validate that? I've put in domain names that go out of bounds. All of those test cases, you have to check for them. There's also invalid test cases. I'll give you the number of invalid test cases. So currently this test suite has 2,075 tests. There are 1,200 invalid tests. You have to spit out and tell us this is invalid. So that is how this will work. You guys will have 3.5 hours to build your validator, test it against it. It will give you hints in terms of where you're going wrong. It might be IDN, security, Africa, etc. It will tell you what is going wrong. So I will put up on the screen, and you do have the slides. There is a specific format. We want you to define the function where you return the Boolean if it's true, if it's a valid or invalid email. Any questions? Yes?
So there's no extra points for basically returning the Y as to why it failed?
No,
True, false?
just true, false. Yes? Okay, so we are just looking for valid, true, false in that case. But this is where RFCs and trying to understand what is invalid and valid is really important, because I have put in there a lot of test cases, testing, especially the invalid test cases. If you understand what the UA has put out there and the reason is why they've put certain things there. So, yes?
So like, is it going to be like bulk testing or like one-by-one testing?
It'll be one by one. It'll stream in one by one. But there will be, so when you do have your, this is actually a good question, because when you do submit it, we concurrently send 16 tests at a time to your API. So do have concurrency on. Python does allow threading, sort of, but it does. So yeah, I've tested and validated it does work. So please also do make it that it can accept multiple tests at the same time. Any other question? Excitement? But angst. I trust you guys, and like I said, we'll see after the first hour with no AI. If we find that it is a bit difficult, etc., we'll put it back on as quick as possible. But please do not vibe code this thing. I will be able to see. Also, one last thing. If you do have libraries, etc., it does build it there. But please do not use the libraries such as IDNA, email validator. It will kick you out for it. It will fail your test because you are letting another library do the work for you. So, the best report. So I will go by the hunt score by the top 3. So in third place,
only number 1 has to come up.
Yeah, only number 1 has to come up, is the email that they fear by 1,461 points. Second place, TixNet by 2,697 points. Then, number 1 by 3,900 points is CV Boosters. Okay guys, please come. I think so. Yeah. Okay, so you guys will win 5,000 Rand. Okay. Let's wait. Now, the best validator for the fix. Okay. In third place, with 2,956.5 points, is anti-gravity. Second place is CV Boosters, with 3,062.4 points. And number 1 with 3,143.1 points is TixNet. For the hunt and the fix, we weight them 50-50. So, in third place, with 2,007 points, is CoreHack. In second place, with 2,920 points, is TixNet. And in first place, with 3,481 points, is CV Boosters. So that concludes the Hackaday Hackathon. We thank you all so much for joining and competing. And one last thing, I'd like to thank all our sponsors and who represented this. So I'd like to thank firstly UP for the venue and for allowing this to happen. I'd like to thank ICANN, Universal Acceptance, Registry.Africa, ZA Cities, ZARC, and also the GeoTLD group. So thank you all so much, and I want to give a big round of applause to all of you for for participating. And one last thing. Also, 2 more people. I'd like to thank the film crew for all the hard work, all just like coming around, the lighting, the professionalism. It was amazing. I'd also like to thank you at the back for all the help with setting up the PCs, the lab computers, and also Adler's for sponsoring and giving us the food. So thank you very much. And this would have not happened. So you guys need to say thank you to Prof. Tim, who's not here, but we need to say thank you to him for organizing, and to our ZARC representatives for being here and for helping and to organize on all the marketing. So give a big round of applause to them.